Coming up today on Studio 13 Live. We're catching up with K-pop group VAV, what they have to say after a nearly 3-year break.
Then our style expert Tiffany Colors is showing us some fashion hacks with some basic home products. How you can shine your shoes using fruit.
Plus, we're sitting down with baker and author Cristelle Pereira. We're chatting all about her new cookbook, Flavor Kitchen, and where you can meet her in Seattle for her U.S. book tour.
And Arleana's restaurant is cooking up their Trinidad doubles dishes with chickpeas and coconut curry. Studio 13 Live starts right now.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today. It's happening all around, like sunshine through the clouds. I'm gonna make your day.
Hello and happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to another magical week. I'm Carly Henderson.
And I'm Mireya Garcia. And you know what? Today is actually National Canoe Day. Carly, you recently figured out how to use a canoe. So any tips for the people?
Oh, you know what? Just slow and steady movements here.
Okay.
Don't turn around too quickly to talk to anyone because it rocks a lot more than a kayak or a paddleboard or anything like that. But we didn't tip over. So
Yeah,
that was a good thing.
that was kind of the conversation you and I had initially, like tipping over or not tipping
Yeah,
over?
They're the most tippy of all of the little watercraft devices, so we're all good there. So have fun if you get into a canoe today. The 2023 BET Awards were held last night, honoring Black excellence in music, television, and film. The show went on without a host and instead featured multiple presenters and performers from old school to new school, including a tribute to the late Tina Turner delivered by none other than Patti LaBelle. Busta Rhymes was also honored. He was given the Lifetime Achievement Award, honoring industry pioneers who've shifted the culture and the entertainment industry. So cool, so well deserved. He got emotional when he was accepting this too, and he said, "No, I want to cry right now." And I thought that was so beautiful and so vulnerable, especially from a man, you know?
Right, and I really think it's interesting that we're seeing all of these shows kind of trying to move forward without host. I know that the writer's strike is still going on, so it's just kind of been a difficult situation.
Yeah.
But it is nice to still be able to honor people who certainly do deserve it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of people who deserve to be honored, Queen Latifah will be the first woman rapper to be honored by the Kennedy Center Opera House in Washington, D.C. Now, the Kennedy Center's president said that it is a privilege to present the award to Queen Latifah, adding that hip-hop is an important part of the center. Now, of course, Queen Latifah is no stranger to making history. She was also the first woman rapper to have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. She will be honored in December, and I love her career trajectory. I mean, the woman can do it all. Obviously, she is a baddie when it comes to rap, but she's also an actress and she's a host. The woman can really do it all, and I love to see her continue to shine.
Yeah, absolutely, and she does continue to shine. She's also the first person to have a song inducted into the Library of Congress, which was amazing. The first female rapper, that is. And I mean, so cool to know that you paved the way for so many people and opened so many doors. So Queen Latifah should feel great about herself.
Yes, absolutely.
For the first time in more than a decade, Taylor Swift performed Dear John at her Minneapolis concert on Saturday. But before performing the song, which is widely believed to be about John Mayer, Taylor urged the crowd to be kind. She said, quote, "I don't care about anything that happened to me when I was 19, except for songs I wrote and the memories that we made together." Now, this comes just days before the release of the re-recording of her album, Speak Now. I feel like this really just goes to show how much Taylor has grown to and how much she cares, how empathetic she is and how much she cares about people, you know. To say that to her fans, I mean, I feel like we all feel like we got a little hurt by John Mayer, just knowing the whole story of everything, but I hope people will be kind.
Yeah, and I really love what she said there. I mean, like, I don't care about anything that happened to me when I was 19, because I think it really goes to show that, look, we want to honor people's big, big feelings at any age, but, you know, as someone who's been through it, the level of importance and intensity that you had in those moments, it kind of diminishes over time. And I think it's really great to sort of remind younger people of that.
Yeah, and like she's healed. She channeled, you know, all of her feelings into her music, and now she's 33 and she's like, I'm good. I'm over this. Let's just enjoy the, you know, the re-recording. And now she owns her masters, which is kind of the point of the whole thing. So we're excited for that to come out. Yeah.
Hey, Kelly Clarkson surprised a bunch of fans in New York by debuting her new song, Mine, at a subway station. Take a listen.
And you keep talking, it'll come back. Karma is the truth. I don't make you look bad, you do. Darling, sabotage.
Oh, Kelly is so good. She was joined by a group of backup singers in Manhattan. The performance, of course, catching the attention of fans, prompting a lot of pictures, and it is so very cool when things like this happen. But I have a suspicion, Carly, and maybe you can tell me if I'm right. Though cool, also a little annoying, because if you're trying to get somewhere, I mean, is that a problem?
I mean, there's just, I can't even imagine a world without subway singers, because you walk through those subway tunnels and you just, there's always someone, you know, with their guitar, playing music, doing something. Sometimes people have speakers. And to be honest, I used to live in New York, and I probably would have just kept my headphones on and kept walking and wouldn't have even known it was Kelly Clarkson. And like there was a sign saying this is Kelly Clarkson, because you just see it so often.
Right.
I listened to her new album over the weekend. Chemistry is absolutely incredible. I'm sad she had to go through it, but man, she put out a darn good divorce album. Some really, really good songs on there. So, I mean, props to everyone in New York who got to see her perform in the subway. Another legend, Pat Sajak, may be leaving the Wheel of Fortune, but it looks like Vanna White is staying. Insiders say that she's now renegotiating her contract to remain on the show. Vanna reportedly earns about $3 million a year. Sajak reportedly made nearly $15 million a year. The craziest part is that Vanna claims she has not had a raise in 18 years, but she did get some bonuses. No word yet on the next Wheel of Fortune host, or if Vanna could even potentially take over that job. But, you know, Vanna said it would be weird to see someone else turn her letters. However, to make $15 million a year, I feel like that's something you could deal with.
You could let it go. You could let it go.
You could
Absolutely.
find a way.
And you know what? But $3 million for turning letters, that's also okay.
Yeah, I know. That's a good gig. I mean, she's probably like, let's keep this going.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes, because this thing is really just something that so many people, it's like a comfort show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. Hey, chances are you had at least a few Beanie Babies growing up. Did you have any growing up?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so soon you might be able to learn the origin of the Beanie Baby story from Apple TV.
You want to sell high-end stuffed Himalayan cats.
Understuffed, actually, for greater posability.
We're professionals. We're giving the people what they need.
Okay, this looks glorious. Zach Galifianakis stars as Beanie Baby creator Ty Warner, and the movie also stars Elizabeth Banks and Sarah Snood from Succession. And the Beanie Bubble arrives on Apple TV at the end of July. I've actually heard the story on a podcast, and it is so wild. I'm surprised that it took this long for it to be made into some sort of television show or movie.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, watching this trailer, I was so perplexed, because I thought, I don't remember ever seeing a Beanie Baby that was this big. I mean, they're like stuffed animal size if you watch the trailer there. And I was Googling it before this. I was like, what is going on with this? So the filmmakers did not acquire the IP to use actual Beanie Babies in this. So they had to invent their own stuffed animal to use in the film about Beanie Babies.
Oh my goodness.
How can you make a movie about Beanie Babies and not have any Beanie Babies in it? That's just so weird to me.
It is very weird.
I also noticed that Elizabeth Banks looks a lot like Rachel McAdams in this. I did a double take when I was looking at it, and Zach Galifianakis, that's a hard name to say, looks so different than I've ever seen before. So a lot of things just having me scratch my head when I saw this trailer.
Absolutely. I do think that it's such a kind of a wild, convoluted story that I love the use of these comedic actors, because there are some serious moments that will happen, but I love the use of like deadpan have this kind of, at the time, insano dream, you know, but it works out. And the fact that it's comedic actors, I think it makes it work that they have to use like things that are not Beanie Babies.
Fake Beanie Babies stuffed
Yes.
animal objects. All right. Well, it sounds like sports bars are becoming a trend of the past as well. So a new survey says that 80% of Gen Zers prefer to watch games from their phones because it's more accessible and convenient. Almost 40% say they access all of their content through their phones and get most of their sports content from social media. Only 1% say that they watch games while out at bars. Does this surprise you?
It shocks me, but I grew up in Texas where the tailgating was like really, really big, and people would haul out whole televisions, like the early flat screens, and set them on their pickup beds and, you know, barbecue, cook something up and watch a game like that. So the fact that we're doing a phone now, that's pretty wild to me.
Yeah, I mean, it seems less, I don't know, grand or exciting to be watching it on your phone, but I do get it. We're on the move a lot. People watch everything on their phones these days. Also, sports bars, I feel like could have a little vibe increase overall. You know, they're dark, they're loud, they're a little bit uncomfortable. You have to sit up the whole time, you're there. Personally, I don't go to that many, but the one sports bar that's really cool is Rough and Tumble.
Oh, that's
which is in
right. It's
Ballard.
huge.
It's the first sports bar devoted to women's sports. I got to go there earlier this year and check it out. And there's like giant floor-to-ceiling windows, so it's nice, bright, natural light in there. There's plants in there. So I feel like that's a good sports bar. Maybe that'll change some of Gen Z's minds.
Maybe.
You know?
Interesting.
I don't know. With warmer weather on the way, you might want to spend a little bit more time by the pool, whether it's in your own backyard or you were invited by a neighbor. You need to know your boundaries. So a pair of homeowners are upset over access to their own pool. Apparently, the past owners let the neighborhood use the pool whenever they wanted to. The gate was always open, and the neighbors even arranged paying for pool maintenance. The new homeowners respectfully let their neighbors know they would not be honoring their old arrangement, but the neighbors will not take no for an answer, and they just keep showing up.
Oh my gosh.
What a predicament to be in, right?
Yes, I mean, because look, it's your property. You should be able to use it as you wish.
Yeah.
But if there's this like long-standing history, I could see how it would be super problematic. I mean, I feel like the thing we could all agree on here is that it kind of is the worst to be put in that position in general.
Super awkward. I mean, yeah, they got to work something out there.
All right, still to come on Studio 13 Live, we're checking in with TMZ on our top entertainment headlines.
And up next, why Netflix apparently gave Prince Harry and Meghan Markle an ultimatum. We'll be right back.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today. It's happening all around.
It is time to take a look at what is popping in celebrity news.
And for that, we're bringing in Fabian Garcia from TMZ. Hey, happy Monday.
Hey, thanks for having me back, you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good to see you. So Migos reunited at the BET Awards last night to pay tribute to their late member Takeoff. Tell us all about that.
Yeah, so this is a big deal. So this was Quavo and Offset. Like you just said, they took the stage together, they performed together. In the backdrop, there was an image of Takeoff, who was murdered last year. I believe Takeoff is related to I believe he's related to Quavo. And maybe even Offset too. Don't quote me on that, but they're very close. Obviously, they used to be part of the Migos, the trio. But over the past year and a half or so, there's been a major falling out between, I believe it's between all of them, frankly. And in the wake of Takeoff's murder last year, there was more bickering, there was more fighting, a lot of finger pointing going on. But over the past couple of months or so, it seems like they've buried the hatchet, and that all came to fruition on Sunday with this really moving performance. And now the question seems to be, are these two going to continue the Migos legacy as a duo, and are they going to put out new music together? What we're hearing is that it's not necessarily off the table, but it's not going to happen anytime soon, it looks like.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like they've each been so successful in their own right with their own name at this point, so I could see that happening, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely.
So Meghan Markle and Prince Harry actually involved in some Netflix drama. So what's the scoop on this?
So I'll just hang this on a report because that's what it is. It's a report out of the UK, so we'll hedge it that way. But this is what they are claiming, and it's interesting if it's true. They're saying that Netflix honchos have called them up and given them an ultimatum saying, you need to make good on your deal with us. Remember, they signed a multi-year, multi-project deal worth over $100 million. I think $103 million is the figure. And what Netflix says is you need to produce higher quality content going forward. And if you do not, then we will renege on the deal. We will yank the rest of it. Apparently, they've already recouped about half of that money that they were signed on to. But Netflix is saying, we're not going to give you the rest of the bag, the rest of the 50 mil or so, if your content is not up to the quality of the docuseries. So their documentary, apparently Netflix was happy with. The numbers were good. But everything after that has not been great. Presumably, that also means Prince Harry's Invictus docuseries, which is coming out. That's slated to come out in August. But apparently, they just are not good on ideas. They don't have any good, idea that Netflix thinks they can manifest into a must-see show or movie or whatever. And they're saying, get with your team and figure something out because, you're sort of on thin ice here.
Interesting. Yeah, this is so strange. But I will say, if it's coming out of the UK, I got questions. I got thoughts, because it has been kind of a very difficult situation for Prince Harry and the UK media.
Yeah.
Again, that's probably smart. Take it with a grain of salt. But again, if it is in fact true, obviously it's interesting. Of course, this all comes on the heels of them getting dropped by Spotify, and one of the Spotify executives, Bill Simmons, came out publicly and said they're sort of frauds in the podcast game. He said grifters, I think is the term he used. And that was absolutely damning. So on its face, it appears Meghan and Harry are just not really good creatively when it comes to production, when it comes to showbiz. They just don't seem to have the goods. At least that's what it seems like from all this reporting.
Yeah, maybe they just need to do a little refresh on their team so they can keep getting that check. That's a lot of millions of dollars on the line.
It is.
Fabian
Garcia, on the table there.
Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
For sure. Take care.
Yeah, and don't forget, you can catch TMZ right here on Fox 13 weekdays at 7 p.m.
And coming up on Studio 13 Live, it is time for K-Pop with Clint.
That's right. This week, we're going to be seeing the return of K-pop group VAV after nearly 3 years. We'll be right back.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today.
So there are a lot of K-pop groups who go on short breaks, but a 3-year break, that sounds like a really long time in that industry.
Yeah, so Fox 13 video journalist Clint Edwards interviewed a group making their long-awaited return to music. Hey, Clint.
Hey, yeah, so this group is VAV, and they just took 3 years off due to mandatory military service, and they are back now with their new album, Subconscious.
Hello, Studio 13. We are VAV!
Fans have been waiting for you guys for a few years now at this point. So how does it feel to be back with a new album?
네, 저희가 정말 오랜만에 컴백을 하게 되는데 굉장히 기분이 설레고 지금 꿈만 같습니다. 또 이렇게 뱀지들을 보게 돼서 정말 꿈만 같은 나날을 지금 보내고 있습니다.
So there are a lot of your names attached to every single one of these tracks. So how did the writing process go for this album?
작업 과정 중에서는 뭐 힘든 부분도 있었지만은 좀 전체적으로 행복했던 것 같습니다. 오랜만에 이렇게 멤버들이 모여가지고 곡 작업을 했는데 워낙에 다들 좋은 곡들을 가져와서 분위기가 너무 좋았던 것 같아요.
You guys announced your Latin American tour for this year, but I wanted to know, and so did everyone else, can they expect a U.S. tour or any other tour in other countries this year as well?
네, 저희가 사실 이번 앨범을 통해서 이제 오랜만에 팬분들에게 공개된 것인 만큼 또 더 열심히 해서 좋은 모습 더 보여드리고 그리고 또 더 나아가서 직접 전 세계에 계시는 우리 모든 팬분들을 직접 찾아가서 만나뵐 수 있도록 노력하겠습니다. 네.
So during our interview, we talked all about the new album and some behind-the-scenes stories you can check out today on fox13seattle.com.
Wow, okay, so they took time off because of that military service, but how does that work for K-pop idols?
So yeah, all Korean males have to do mandatory military service with some exceptions for some people, but it's about 18 to 21 months, so they really have to put their entire career on hold during this time.
Okay, so this is mandatory. So the stars all kind of know about this going into, starting their careers. They know at some point they're going to have to take a break?
Yeah, they've known pretty much forever, but when it comes to their career, most of them start in their late teenage years. so they could have, you know, a 10-plus year career before they even have to think about this.
Okay.
Interesting. So, you know, we were chatting about this in the break, and obviously when we were looking at your package, they have a very Latin sound. So talk to me about whether that's something they've always done or something new.
Yeah, so the Latin pop sound is definitely a reoccurring sound in the K-pop industry, and it's really popular with a few groups as well. So their song Senorita was the first one they ever did that with, and it became their most popular song. So I think they saw that, they did well, so they really kept going with it.
Okay, so if people watched the interview, they saw the music video, they're getting hooked. Are they coming to Seattle anytime soon?
So that's the hope. We talked all about their new Latin American tour they're doing in September, and you know, I told them we want to see you here in Seattle, and they said they wanted to do it, so we'll see if they can make it happen.
So we have Clint to thank if they show up.
I'm hoping so too.
All right, thank you so much. We'll catch you next time, okay?
Yeah, and we've gone ahead and put more info about VAV on fox13seattle.com/Studio 13 Live.
Oh, so cool. Hey, so in today's world, it is nearly impossible to avoid social media completely. However, more and more people are just starting to quit using it. The top reasons they say they're leaving over concerns of their mental health, their physical health. For example, there are a lot of studies that show that young girls in particular can be extremely prone to poor body image because of seeing all those overly edited photos on social media. And while studies show that quitting social media does improve your relationships that you have, you know, IRL, a lot of people miss the entertainment aspect of it or the informational aspect of it. And I know, you know, Carly, for us, it's part of our job.
Yeah,
too.
it is. I mean, I would certainly miss those things you mentioned, the entertainment, you know, the information, and I feel like just the inspiration, period. I find so many places I want to visit or even restaurants I want to check out in Seattle from it. But if I was forced to, I feel like I could find a way to just live in the real world. There's this series of books by an author, Dave Eggers. It's called The Circle and the Every. And what happens is it takes place in like the near to, you know, future. And basically like society divides into people who share everything on social media and people who do nothing on it. And so you see what happens even within families and different colonies that people live in. And so if you want to explore that idea a little bit more, those are a couple books you can check out, and DM me if you forget the name of them, and I'll send them to you.
I feel like we're pitching Studio 13 Live Book Club, and I like it.
I like do that. Still to come, Tiffany Colors is joining us with some style hacks.
Yeah, how to use some basic home products to clean and organize your wardrobe. We'll be right back.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait.
It is time for IDK, where we learn how to do something new. And today we're learning how to use basic home products in creative ways to enhance our style, like using fruit to shine shoes and vodka to kill those unwanted smells. Tiffany, I'm ready to be surprised.
Okay, I'm excited to be here. So here's a couple of fun tricks. First, a banana peel to shine your shoes.
Oh, which side of it?
So you've got to eat the fruit first.
Okay,
Or give it to someone in the family. And then any shoe that you need, you just take the inside of the banana peel and you want to just go ahead and shine it up.
And that's okay for the shoe?
Yeah, it's really healthy for the shoe.
Suede,
especially if it's leather. Suede, you can go, if it has a nick, you can use it to kind of like push the color so it doesn't look like it was worn in the area. So definitely more of like a leather, a patent leather. You can even do a pleather and it will shine it up. But what you do have to do is wipe off the resin. So once you use the inside of the banana, you do need to have a little wipey wipe, give it a little
And a dry one is good.
A dry one.
Okay, beautiful.
And do we expect to have our feet smell like bananas?
Well, I mean, it's not a bad smell to have around. And then another tip, if you're doing boots and you don't have anything to kind of keep it up, right?
They're all floppy right there.
Anybody drinks wine.
Yes.
You just take your empty wine bottle, pop that little buddy right in, and then that way it will keep your boots nice and healthy.
You're a genius, Tiffany.
So if you're getting ready to like wrap your boots up because it's summertime, go ahead and give it a little shiny shine, a little wine bottle, and then you can go ahead and store them until the fall comes.
A real money saver too, because they sell like whole products to put in there, but you don't need to buy them.
I mean, if you have a friend that drinks wine,
That's fine.
We have a lot of friends who drink wine.
We sure do.
Check out my recycling.
Now, do these get rid of smells, or what gets rid of smells?
Okay, so what can get rid of smells is not vodka just for karaoke, but you can take a little bit of vodka, put it in an airplane bottle, so this does travel, and you can go ahead and spray inside of your shoes, and I'll tell you about the clothing in a minute, and it kills bacteria. So it's just it's a bacteria killer, so you don't have that yucky stinky stink.
Yeah.
And then another fun thing that I'm talking about is how to break in your sandals.
Okay.
So if anyone has tried to break these in, we all know it's like a commitment.
They're tough.
Yeah. So what you want to do is head over to Bartell Drugs and you want to get yourself some secret deodorant and you want to rub it anywhere you felt like an ouchie. So you put your foot in, you feel where it might be tight, put this around your toes, you can put it around your heels, you can put it all on the base of your foot, and it will help also with the stink, and then it will help with a glide.
Interesting.
So you won't get a blister.
I ended up walking barefoot in Hawaii for a whole evening because I didn't break in sandals.
And if I had known.
You just, now you know.
Yeah. Wait. Can we go back to the vodka thing really quick? Yeah. So if you're putting vodka on your shoes, do you smell like you had a wild night out? Or like, what is...
No, if you get, so you can't get the vodka that has lemon in it. Or the peach anything. It's got to be just a pure vodka. And the alcohol evaporates while killing the bacteria. So you're not going to be like, oh, hey. It just kind of knocks it out. It knocks it right out. I know. It's
so
fun.
curious.
It's fun. And then another fun thing, we're wearing heels again because we're getting to go places.
Yes.
And so there is you can go on Amazon and there is a lidocaine spray that you can spray and numb your feet before you put your shoes on.
Oh my gosh.
So I think this is like $6 and I've bought like 5 for friends. I got some, they worked great. I do bring a bigger purse sometimes and I keep this buddy with me. I'll be in the bathroom being like, does anyone need their feet sprayed? Like I'm the weird person sharing the lidocaine.
So I didn't know people sprayed body parts with lidocaine.
Yes.
I've used that at the dentist, but you put
spray
this
your
on your
foot.
feet?
Yeah.
Really?
After making sure that you have your blister care, because then maybe you lose a toe and you're like, I can't feel it. So okay, so we're gonna dive more into the vodka.
Okay. All right.
So let's say you are having a sweaty day and you're wearing a jacket or your dress and you're just like, I'm little raw.
Yeah.
You can actually take this and spray inside your jacket. You can spray underneath, even pants.
Okay.
And then it will kill the bacteria.
Okay.
So I don't know if there's vodka around and you didn't bring deodorant because you didn't bring your shoe stuff. You just like give yourself a little spray and it knocks the scent out.
Lesson of today: carry vodka with you at all times.
I mean,
this has told us too.
It is an airplane bottle, so you can also take it to travel. I have a lot of clients that have to wear their suits to travel.
Yeah.
And so then they'll give themselves a spray and then it knocks out.
Get rid of the funk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Do you guys know the try the pants on around your neck trick before you try on jeans?
No.
Okay, so what's really neat is that, yes, we all have a number, 29, 30 and up, but just because you have that line doesn't mean that it's gonna fit where you need it to fit.
Okay.
So what you wanna do, I'm gonna show you how it doesn't fit. So this is not what you're looking for. You're gonna take your jeans, you're gonna wrap it around, and you're gonna put it around your neck. If it doesn't touch, these are not gonna go up in the changing room.
Okay.
And why feel sad?
Yeah.
We don't need
So
to
you
feel
just
sad.
know. You already know.
Yep, these are not going to fit, even though you thought that they were, they're not.
Yeah.
So then you'll just go up to the next size, you'll grab them, go around like Superman, touch.
Whoa.
Now I know that these will go up over my thighs and they will button. Whether or not I feel vibey in them is, I don't know.
Another story.
But at least you're going to be like, these went up.
I didn't realize we all had such drastically different sized necks.
Yeah, so well, we do have, we have drastically different size thighs, waists, and hips. And the way that jeans are made, they pick one body, and then they form the jeans to that person the way that they gain weight.
Yeah.
No one gains weight the same way.
Right.
So we do know that our necks gain weight if our hips gain weight.
Okay.
And so we've got this really great
today.
Yeah, me too.
So now you can try your jeans on before you try your jeans on. Grab the ones that you know are going to slide up and button.
Okay.
And then your journey is, do I vibe? That's all you need to know.
I like that.
I like that.
And then my next thing is how to pack your necklaces and not spend the rest of the day trying to untangle them.
This is my struggle every day.
So it's super easy, but you do have to take a minute. You have to sit down with your straws. You have to have some scissors.
Okay.
You take your necklace. Is it a necklace that has a charm? Is it a necklace that's locked in? If the necklace has a charm that's locked in, you'll do 2 straws on either side.
Okay. Very
and
nice.
if it's a necklace with a charm, just slide the charm to the end and then go ahead and make yourself a little like straw necklace, something that maybe your kid would bring home to you.
Sure.
And then you guys, you just fold it up, and you pop it in a Ziploc bag, throw that in your suitcase,
and you can just toss it in.
Yep, you just toss it in. I mean, you may have to take a second to be like, okay, you guys are not together.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to show you that like it's super simple. You just slide your necklace through. You have to have a scissor.
I love it. I love it because the way I have like 3 necklaces that are all knotted up.
Yeah.
I can't, and I haven't used them. You
I've
know,
got, my jewelry organizer has a gold side and a silver side, and all the necklaces are in one pocket of each one. Like and it is such a mess every day, and I'm like, I gotta really want to wear this necklace to be able to spend the time.
If you do have an organizer, these straws can be cut in a whole bunch of little tiny sections, so they can fit in your jewelry organizer.
Yeah.
You just have to take a minute to like make sure the necklaces won't get all knotted up.
Okay.
So your takeaway, you'll wrap your jeans around your neck.
Yep.
You can spray vodka to kill scent. You don't need to break shoes in and cry. Right. Your foot can get numb. Save the banana peel to shine your shoes.
I love it all.
And put your wine in your shoes.
Oh yeah, I know, that's so hidden. Yes.
Empty or full, it works.
Stop by my place, pick up some wine bottles.
I love it. Tiffany, thank you so much for coming in today. So many good tips.
I mean, as much as I can share. We've got more.
Yeah,
coming soon.
We'll see you again soon.
Excellent. All right, coming up next, we are sitting down with a cook, baker, and author, Cristelle Pereira.
Yes, and we're chatting all about her new cookbook, Flavor Kitchen, and what it was like being a finalist on season 12 of the Great British Bake Off. We'll be right back.
Take you another mile. Don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait, don't gotta wait today.
Cook, baker, and season 12 finalist of the Great British Bake Off, Cristelle Pereira, just publishing her first cookbook in the U.S. on June 20th, and it features recipes inspired by her world travels and, of course, her Portuguese and Goan heritage.
Yeah, you can catch her in Seattle tonight at Book Larder as part of her U.S. book tour, and here to share all about her new cookbook, Flavor Kitchen, Cristelle Pereira. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Give me such a lovely introduction. Thank you.
It was really fun introducing you. You've had a really cool career.
Yeah.
This is your first cookbook, so huge congrats on that. Tell us all about Flavor Kitchen and what inspired it.
Yeah, so actually it published a few days ago in the US, but I mean, it basically does what it says on the tin. So it's all about flavor, and it's basically just trying to show you how to add really interesting, unique, and punchy flavors to your everyday dishes, but in a really accessible way. And by that I mean, you know, adding like a tablespoon of miso to something can massively transform it. And I think sometimes people can be a bit hesitant to, you know, revamp or zhuzh up their dishes. But I just want to show you that it's really fun and it's really doable. And I think the way that I eat and I bake and I cook is very much the same, that I always like to try something new, something that you haven't tried before. And I think food is all about an experience, and you want to eat something and remember that taste in your mouth a very long time. So that's what I'm trying to do in the book.
Beautiful. Okay, so Carly and I actually had a whole segment about how some people love the food when they travel, right?
Yes.
I'm sure that's the case for you.
Yes.
So what are some of your favorite places you've been to?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. So actually, a big part of the dishes in my book are inspired by places I've been to around the world. So I was in South Korea a few years ago. Okay. That's where I tried gochujang, which is a spicy fermented paste, and I use it so much in my cooking. And I remember having that incredible Korean barbecue there, which was amazing. I've been to Hong Kong. That's where I had yuzu for the first time. I've been to Japan, had the most incredible food. But even in America, so I was in New York. I was in New York a few days ago, but I was also here last year. I had the most incredible fusion dish. It was this crispy Korean rice cake lasagna from this restaurant called Kimika. Honestly, one of the most incredible dishes I've had in my life.
Oh my God.
I will remember that honestly, it was just everything, the flavors, the textures. It was crispy, it was cheesy, and you sort of eat it and you're getting these pops of flavor in your mouth and you don't know what's going on. And that is the stuff I love. Those are the dishes I'll always remember for a very long time.
There's so much good food in Seattle. You've got to try.
Yes, I've got a long list.
Yes. And let's talk about Goa, because some people might not be super familiar with Goa. For anyone who isn't, tell us about the area. What kind of like flavors and ingredients can you expect to taste if you go there?
Yeah, I know, definitely. Goa is definitely not really on the map for a lot of people. So Goa is in the south of India, and it was colonized by the Portuguese, which is my surname is Pereira. It means pear tree in Portuguese.
Okay.
But what's so interesting is basically what it means is when the Portuguese invaded Goa years and years ago, they brought in loads of their own ingredients, whether it was tomatoes, fresh chilies and stuff. And so you've got this, Goan food is almost a bit like a fusion in itself. So you've got flavours like fresh coconut, vinegar, tamarind, tomatoes, roasted spices. So a very popular dish, I don't know if it's popular here, but in the UK it's called vindaloo. It's a very popular curry. That came from a Portuguese dish called carne de vina de alos. So it's basically pork and wine. When the Portuguese invaded Goa, the Goans swapped Portuguese wine for Goan vinegar, and that became vindaloo. So it's got a really interesting sort of heritage, and there's a good handful of Goan dishes in the book as well, because I kind of want to show people what Goan food is about, and it's so balanced and it's so interesting because nothing's too spicy or too rich, because you've got coconut, which is rich, but then it's always offset with something sour like tamarind, or you've got something salty, which is offset with vinegar. So you've always got a really nice balance, which I really like about the cuisine.
Absolutely.
It sounds good.
Yeah, why was that so important for you to incorporate that into your recipes?
I think because, I mean, it's obviously my heritage and it's something I'm really passionate about. And I think something that I want to do more, I think, going forward is everyone loves Indian food, and it's an umbrella term, right? But what I think is so important is actually Indian food is an umbrella, and actually the food is very different as you travel around India. So whether you're in Gujarat or you're in Delhi or you're in Goa, the food really changes, and that depends on either the colonization, the ingredients you have. And so that's why I wanted to show actually quintessentially Goan food, so people can try them and think, okay, this is different to the butter chicken or the chicken tikka I've had. It's I mean, not saying that it's better, but it's different, and I want people to show that. And it's also quite sentimental. There's some curries in there that my late great-grandmother had kind of put together. So, yeah, it's also a nice little sentimental touch to the book as well.
Wonderful. Now, we could talk about food all day with you. I know. But we want to talk about you, too, because you've had a sort of like interesting career to getting where you are today. So tell us, what were you doing before you jumped into this, and how did you get into cooking?
Yeah, so interesting journey. So actually, this time last year, it's almost a year anniversary, I was working in finance, and I had my last day in the office on the 25th of June or something.
Oh my God.
Last year. So I was in finance 4.5 years, but I guess my kind of going right back to the beginning, I learned how to cook from my mum. We're a very food-centric culture, and by that I mean there is food in the fridge, in the freezer. When you open every cupboard, food just falls out. When we invite people over, you have to feed them, and if you don't eat, we'll all be very offended. So it's always like, you must eat, you must eat. So we've always been like that. And my mum's an incredible cook, and I basically just watched her cooking, you know, when I was really, really young. And I think that's where I learned how to cook just by eye. She would give me bits of food to taste on the side, and that's when I developed my palate. I was about 6 years old, and I was saying things to my mum like, you need to add a bit of lemon juice to your chickpea curry and stuff. Because she was teaching me about all this stuff. She would tell me, oh, Cristelle, I always add a pinch of sugar to my sweet food, vice versa. I always add some tamarind to the end of my curry. So just by eye, I picked up all these things. And because I'd been tasting food, I sort of learnt about all of that. And then time went on, I then learnt how to cook those things myself. But it was very much a hobby. So I was working in finance, cooking on the side. And then one day I was basically encouraged to apply for Bake Off. Didn't think I'd get on. I got on, and then the show finished, and then basically changed my career, which is very surreal.
And you were so good. So good.
Yes. Tell us, describe that experience, you know, competing in season 12, the Great British Bake Off. What was that like?
It was the most surreal, the most enjoyable and challenging thing I have done in my entire life. I basically call it part intensive baking camp, part holiday, because it's so full on. You're running off adrenaline the whole time because you're just go, go, go. You're 2 days filming, 2 days practice. But it's an incredible adrenaline because this is like a dream. I've watched Bake Off for years, but very much as a form of entertainment. It was in my TV screen. So I never once thought I would be there. And I think that was so surreal, was actually being a part of that and waking up every day and seeing this white tent propped up and going in there, seeing the judges and the presenters. It was so surreal, so I loved it, but obviously very stressful. And when things go wrong, you just sort of have to keep going, and you've got all these cameras in your face. But honestly, the best and the most challenging thing I've done.
Oh, beautiful. I have to know what you took away from the experience, though, because as an avid watcher, stuff goes wrong all the time, and you just kind of have to let it go, right?
Yeah, massively. I think, luckily for me, I went into the tent knowing things were going to go wrong. And I think it's because I've watched the show for so many years, so I know things go wrong. And I think because I didn't set myself up for failure, but I just told myself things are going to go wrong. And when they go wrong, you just got to get over it, basically, which I think really helped. And I think one of my coping mechanisms was I used to talk to myself a lot. And all the other bakers realised because I just had to keep on telling myself, come on, Cristelle, you've got this, keep going, keep going. And I remember I was once making meringues and my egg whites weren't whipping. And I knew in that moment I had to start again. So I just said, OK, it's fine, just start again. But you have to tell yourself, because if you don't, you then get really overwhelmed, and then you've got, and also when things go wrong, obviously they want to capture that for TV. So that's when you have every camera in your face. Things are going wrong, so it's very stressful, but as long as you keep a clear head, you're fine. So I think that's what I've taken away from it is when things go wrong, keep a clear head, just start again, and you'll be fine. And also, we're here to bake, we're here to enjoy ourselves, and I think you don't want to get too caught up in the stressful element of it, because, you know, I love baking and it was like a dream project for me to do. So I kind of always tried to check in and remind myself I'm here to have a good time. And I think that really helped as well.
100%. And you're here in Seattle now, so you're going to be speaking at Book Larder tonight, right, in Fremont. Quickly, just tell us about the event before we let you go.
Oh, well, it's going to be a really nice just author Q&A. I'm going to be meeting loads of people, signing books and just chatting, kind of similar to what I'm doing here, but just in more detail about my life, I guess, kind of getting into cooking, baking, all about Bake Off and all about the book, and kind of just answering any questions people have. But one of the best parts of my job is actually meeting people and meeting the people that, you know, message over Instagram and stuff, and it's one of the most rewarding parts of my job. So I'm really excited. It's at 6:30, and then the event's actually sold out, but if people want to get their book signed, they can still come along at 7:30 to join the book line, and I can sign books and take photos. So I'm very excited.
Wonderful. Well, we want to thank you so much for stopping by, and definitely get your book signed at the Book Larder. We have more info on our website, fox13seattle.com/Studio13Live.
Yes, thanks so much for coming.
Thank you for having me.
To talk to. Still ahead on Studio 13 Live, we're going to be giving you a look at the new Arleana's restaurant in Kirkland.
Yeah, we're learning how to make their Trinidad doubles dish with Caribbean curry. Get those spatulas ready. We'll be right back.
I wanna see you smile, take you another mile.
It is time for Emerald Eats, where we get to highlight amazing food around the region, and the new Arleana's restaurant is bringing Caribbean soul cuisine to the Kirkland area in honor of their family member.
And today we are joined by the owner, Theo Martin, and Chef James Bearden. Welcome, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Glad you're here.
Yes,
So happy to have you. Okay, so you've of course been on the show with your other restaurant, Island Soul, which honors your dad, and you opened Arleana's, which honors your mother. So tell us about why this is something that is just so important to you.
Well, you know, Island Soul, like I said, is my father's restaurant. He's no longer with us, but I knew one day I always wanted to honor my mom in the same way. Love to cook, love community, love to bring people together, and had an opportunity to do the same, and couldn't wait to do it. And we're over in downtown Kirkland, and we're bringing that same flavor, that same love, and what my mom did and what she used to do, we're bringing it to Kirkland.
Doing what you and the family do best.
Yes.
The restaurant draws inspiration from the Caribbean with some French influences. What are we making today?
So today we're gonna make Trinidad doubles. It's a Trinidad street food. Here in Seattle, we go out, we like to get a hot dog afterwards. In Trinidad, you would get a double.
Okay, a double hot dog.
No,
it's just one of these,
So we have right here, we have the bar bread that we're gonna use, and we're gonna roll it flat. We're gonna fry it like a fry bread. We're gonna fill it with some chickpeas, and then garnish it with a couple of accoutrements.
So vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
No dogs.
Yes. Is there a double hot dog? No, this is the hot dog equivalent. Got it.
Exactly.
Well, let's get started.
All right, so the first thing I gotta do is actually roll out the bread. So
Okay, let me get
this
this out
here.
of your way.
Thank you. Sorry for standing in front of you.
Oh, no, please do. We are in your kitchen now, my friend.
Yes, that's right. Chef knows best. Oh, wonderful.
Do you want a rolling pin, Mireya?
I don't.
I don't either.
I have used a wine before. Is that okay, Chef? Not really? Not a lot.
Not a lot. That's probably okay.
That'll tell you.
Imagine so, yeah.
Well, while we're working on this, why don't you talk to us about some of the other menu items? I know we have some other stuff here.
Yeah, well, one of my favorites is going to be the oxtail. It's kind of a jerk flavored oxtail sitting on a bed of polenta. Amazing dish. We love oxtails.
Yummy.
So that's one of the dishes I always tell people. When you come in and people say, what do I need to try?
Yeah.
I'm going straight to the oxtail and straight to the curry goat. Those are the two things that when you want to feel like you're in the islands or you're driving down the street, you know, what do I want to eat? That's one of the dishes. Also, another dish over there is going to be our Caribbean fried catfish.
Yeah.
It's also an amazing dish. It has underneath a bed of corn. It's almost like a succotash.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, I would have to have the chef break it down on exactly the trick to what makes it the French influence and what brings it to, we say, to Arleana's. Because the goal was to make everything kind of level up.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the thing. You really sold this food to me. Can I try the oxtail?
Oh yes,
yes. I'm so excited.
And I noticed you're kind of going back and forth when you put that in there. Tell us about that.
So it's just kind of a standard trick. When you wave it into the oil, it kind of gets a nice little fried skin on it. So when you drop it in, it doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan.
Hot tip there.
Oh my gosh.
How is it?
Talk to me.
The flavors. I can't talk to you because it's too good. I can't talk.
That's the best compliment you can get, right?
That's right.
Silence.
It is so delicious, but it's also, you can tell it's really hearty, you know, so it's going to keep you full.
Nice.
Delicious.
I want to know kind of about the ambience at the new spot, too.
Oh,
what do you want
my.
people to feel when they walk in?
Yeah, well, the fun thing, the cool thing about the building, I call it the Darth Vader building, because it's real kind of a dark, shady, almost clubby look on the outside. But when you walk in, I mean, we have an aqua room with tiles from the floor to the ceiling of just aqua tile. My mom's color was purple cement floors to purple walls with gold trim, and the bar looked like this came from another world.
Oh my God.
It's one of the coolest bars in Washington, and I'm not just saying that.
Yeah.
It's really cool. And I got a bartender that matches the bar.
Also very cool.
Yeah.
And you actually recently started happy hours, so tell us about that.
Yeah, happy hour is something we couldn't wait to do because now we can bring even more of that Caribbean fun happy hour street food to you. So the doubles is one of them, Trinidad double is one of them. We do a catfish taco.
Okay.
Oh yeah, fish taco. We do plantains and tostones. And it's just an amazing happy hour dish with amazing cocktails that we have also for happy hour.
I love this. Are we ready to dive in on this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so we build the doubles first. We're going to bring the bar bread over here.
I can't believe how fast that
We're going to.
I know, that was so
quick. Fry
quick.
bread.
Yeah.
I've never really fried dough like that before.
It's really quick.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I figured it was super complicated.
For us, it might be.
Yeah, for us, maybe. It'd be a new challenge.
Yeah.
Okay, wonderful.
All right, so we're going with the curried chickpeas, and then we just garnish. This is actually pickles. This is a Haitian pickled cabbage.
Okay.
So a little bit of spice in there, but big, bright flavors.
I do love a pickled vegetable.
Awesome. And then these are curled green onions.
Oh, I've never had a curled green onion before, but I love a green onion any way it comes.
All right, Carly, you're going to try this. You're going to tell us exactly how delicious it is, okay?
And then one more thing really quick.
Ooh, yeah. What is that?
We're going just a little bit of yogurt.
And is this something you pick up and eat, or do you eat it with a fork? Okay.
Eat it like a taco. It does get a little bit messy.
Beautiful. Theo and James, I'm so glad you guys came in here.
Let's see. Let's see what it looks like.
Let's do it. Mmm.
What do we think?
Oh my gosh, that is such a unique flavor.
Nice.
I love it. I love the curried chickpeas.
Yes.
With the bread. Ooh.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. Go out there and make it a fabulous day.
Bye. This is so good.
Take you another mile. Don't gotta